Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Donald Trump with a very sizable lead in Iowa, as we know. He hasn't spent a lot of time and resources there. All of these other candidates have, but it doesn't matter. Donald Trump with over a 30% lead in the state of Iowa, 10 days away from the Iowa caucuses. He's going to be the Republican nominee. Make no mistake about it, which leads us to the next question. Who is Donald Trump going to pick for his vice presidential candidate? Who's his running mate going to be? And we have time before the convention. He has months to decide. I don't know if he's thinking a lot about it right now, but I have a list of criteria that he probably in some way or another is going to follow in terms of who he's going to select for VP. And it's right here. I tweeted this out the other day. It's still very relevant. He needs somebody that can, A, unite the party. You need somebody that could possibly get some voters who may be a little bit iffy about you on board. Back in 2016, even though we know what happened with Mike Pence, but without hindsight, he did make a decent choice because he had some issues because evangelicals and a lot of these old school Republicans that were lifelong Republican voters, they were unsure about him. But he was able to get a lot of those voters home by making that selection. Now, he's not going to pick Pence this time around, obviously, for various reasons, not just about what happened 3 years ago from tomorrow, but also because you look at his campaign that he ran this time around and his apology media tour at CNN, it was an utter disaster. He could have recovered from 3 years ago tomorrow if he played his cards right, and he did not in the slightest. It was an embarrassment. So he's going to need somebody who can, yes, unite the party. He's probably not going to pick somebody who is super, MAGA aligned, and that might upset some people, but they need to understand that that's not really the role of the VP. The VP is like having a backup quarterback who can, mentor you about certain things, and it's a figurehead position. It really is. But he's not going to want to pick somebody who's awful either. He's not going to want to pick somebody who is offensive to the core base, who will keep people staying home if he does select them. When it comes down to somebody like Nikki Haley, he's not going to want to pick Nikki Haley. You have a lot of desperate, angry, seething Ron DeSantis supporters who are delusional enough to believe that Nikki Haley is like a sleeper agent that's working behind the scenes in favor of Donald Trump. They've got a backroom deal and he's going to give her the VP nod, despite the fact that they have zero evidence about this, despite the fact that all of the donors are backing Haley. They want to stop Trump in New Hampshire, and I think a lot of the DeSantis people are just coping because Ron has lost support, not just within the grassroots, but also the donor support. He has nobody left. That's why he's fallen behind Nikki Haley in the national polling, which is just an utter fire festival for him. His entire campaign has been. But nevertheless, Trump is not likely going to pick Haley as VP. There's zero evidence of this being the case. It's just a talking point that these people use because they're desperate and they're going to try and trick some of Trump's base to say, oh, well, I'm not going to want to vote for Trump in a primary if this is true, but nobody's buying the nonsense. So he's likely not going to pick somebody like Haley. Yeah, they may not be perfect. He's not going to pick somebody like a Tucker Carlson. I don't know, maybe it'd be a little bit interesting, but I don't think he's going to pick Tucker. But we'll really just have to wait and see. It's more of a pipe dream. But I do think Tucker could be a very good chief of staff. He could be in Trump's cabinet. You would love to see that. And that would help make Trump's second term a lot better than his first term. So up next, you need somebody who can debate well, and maybe not super well, given the fact that the opponent is Kamala Harris. But Mike Pence in 2016, he won that debate. 2020, he won that debate. The VP debate with early voting, does it matter as much as it used to? Maybe not. But still, you would prefer to have somebody who will wipe the floor with Kamala Harris on the debate stage, which is not hard to do, so long as they probably have a little bit more charisma than somebody like Ron DeSantis has. But nevertheless, the next one, ideally somebody younger. Trump is in his mid to late 70s, and even though he doesn't come across like it, you probably want somebody that's at least in their 60s or younger to be the VP. I'm not saying he has to pick a 35-year-old to be his VP, but yeah, somebody younger probably would round out the ticket a little bit more. So also, somebody with a last name that would look good on a bumper sticker. Trump Pence did look good on a bumper sticker. It looked good on a sign. I know a lot of people like Vivek, but Trump Ramaswamy, does that exactly vibe? Now, he might stylize it as Trump Vivek if he does pick Vivek. I don't think he does. I think Vivek ends up in his cabinet, though. But I don't know. You probably want somebody who has a last name that does look decent on a bumper sticker. It has to flow well. And that is something that does matter. And it is something that is kind of trivial to some people, but at the end of the day, you talk about marketing matters. And I think the VP is kind of about marketing to a large degree, just as it is, oh, you have somebody that can take over if X, Y, and Z could happen. Up next, somebody who will not be seen as the 2028 frontrunner ideally, mainly because I don't see anybody on that short list who I'm super enthused about or super excited or think that they could go out there and get the nomination in 2028. So somebody who probably is not going to be super strong or has a big foot in the door regarding that. I don't think it really applies because nobody really on the short list is. And although if he does choose Tucker, like, yeah, we'd want Tucker to be seen as the 2028 frontrunner, I just think it's more of a pipe dream than anything at that point. So up next, you have can expand the base. This is optional, mainly because you probably need somebody who's able to go out there, not be offensive to independents, but expanding the base, that's kind of a little bit tough. Like usually when you think of that, that's going to be him picking somebody that has ideological differences to him, and it's still kind of like a risky move in the process. That's why it's optional. But like it's just interesting to think about. No, him picking a woman is not going to help him win over a large portion of the female vote, or him picking somebody who's black. He's not going to have like a realignment with black voters because of that. I mean, that's just not how these things work. But like, is it possible that if he picks somebody from the right state with the right positions, could they help expand the base to a certain amount? I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see. And that begs the question, who is the VP pick going to be? Because that is how this video is going to be titled, and it's not entirely clickbait because I have answers. Actually, I have more than one answer because we don't know the exact person so far, but I do have two frontrunners and I have one wild card. And everybody, I think, is talking about Kristi Noem right now, and I think they're 100% right. Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, she is going to Iowa. She is campaigning for Donald Trump. She is vying for the position. She has said before that she would like to take the position. She also had a rally with Trump, and she stylized the signs as Trump Noem, which kind of could like preview something. And honestly, she's got some blind spots. I'm not the biggest Kristi Noem fan, especially when it comes down to policy. But when you look at the criteria, just picking somebody who's a VP, she could possibly help win over people skeptical of Trump because of the lockdowns, because she's branded herself as somebody who did not lock her state down, even though she arguably tried to. She's not offensive to the core base a whole lot, even with those blind spots, because pretty much nobody's going to be 100% perfect in that regard. She can debate okay. She's not a bad public speaker. She is younger. Her last name does look good on the bumper sticker. I don't believe she'd be the 2028 frontrunner. And she is from the Midwest, which does kind of help. Now, she does have alleged scandals in her closet regarding potential affairs, regarding certain other things. But still, I don't know if that would be enough to really take her out of the running, because I don't know what the definitive proof for any of that is, regardless if it is true or not. So Noem would be the first option. The other option possibly is Elise Stefanik from New York, who for many years was kind of a centrist in the House of Representatives. She's kind of had a rightward turn recently, which is for the better. So it's quite possible that she would not like be a total pushover. I don't think she would get in Trump's way. She's somebody who does seem to go along with whatever Trump does while still having the foot in the door of being liked by establishment Republicans. So I'm not opposed to that. So she definitely could unite the party. Is not offensive to the core base. I haven't seen her debate. I think she's a decent public speaker from what I've seen, though. She is younger. I don't know if Trump Stefanik really vibes on a bumper sticker, and she definitely won't be seen as the 2028 frontrunner, but Trump is somebody who wants to improve in New York. She is from New York. Maybe that would be another option. And speaking of New York, we get to our wild card, Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin was a representative for many years in New York, and he's somebody who was loved by establishment Republicans but liked by Trump's base as well, although he made the establishment Republicans seethe because he endorsed Donald Trump over Ron DeSantis. They threw a temper tantrum about it. It was absolutely hilarious, and he definitely could unite the party. He's not offensive to the core base. He's a great debater, is younger, Trump Zeldin vibes on a bumper sticker. He won't be seen likely as the 2028 frontrunner, and he is somebody who is a heck of a campaigner, and I'm sure he's going to be campaigning for Trump regardless, which is good. But I mean, that guy left no stone unturned in New York. He almost flipped New York. He saved the House of Representatives for Republicans single-handedly in 2022. Him being on the ticket possibly could save some of those states again. It is true that he's not a Christian, which might be a little bit of a blind spot for some people regarding the base, but at the end of the day, it's not like Mike Pence being a fundamentalist Christian really helped him advance Trump's agenda. So we'll just really have to wait and see what happens on that front. But if he does decide to pick a man, I'm shocked I haven't heard Lee Zeldin's name being called that much, but nevertheless, yeah, probably it's going to be Noam Stefanik and maybe a wild card. Now, some people are mentioning like Marco Rubio or Byron Donalds or somebody from Florida. I don't think that's going to happen because you can't have your VP be from the same state and get those electoral votes in Florida, which is a big electoral prize, unless Trump or somebody else changes their residency, which I've seen no evidence that he's going to do so far. So that's really this video. This is the criteria. Who's he going to pick? We'll have to see. Who do you want him to pick? Comment down below. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle out.